Okay, what's up, y'all? YouTube, I love you, YouTube. What's going on? Instagram. Live. Scam King is live, talking about scams. You know what I'm saying? Talking about all the things that we get screwed with. Here we is. Happy Saturday. God, we all just worked 80 hours last week in order for it to be gone in 45 minutes. Think about that. Why people are logging on. It's the Scam King. I'm here. How goes it? How comes it? Is the question. How comes it every day I wake up when others don't? I don't get it. I don't get it. It's all good, bro. It's all good. Yeah. So, if you don't know me, while we're waiting for people to log on, my name is Scott Lubik. I am the Scam King, apparently, taking the place of the Liver King, apparently. If you don't know who I am, I'm 53 years old. I'm an ex-Blackwater agent, and my page is about things that you just can't see, scams that are hidden in plain sight. That they have designs on you. They're taking money from your family. They're taking your health. They're taking everything. And I expose all of it and all of them because you know what? They fucking deserve it. So here we go. Here we is. So every Saturday I go live, and when I do, I go over all the videos on my page. Now, if you're new to my Instagram page, Instagram is right now my number one platform. My accounts all got suspended. I had 6 million followers. Now I got a 500,000 followers on Instagram, 250,000 followers on Facebook, and my YouTube account is brand new. So, everybody, if you guys can all the same exact name follow me to YouTube, that would be wonderful if I could blow my YouTube account back up. But the accounts got suspended because I was just spitting out too much truth. And honestly, there's a way to do it and a way not to do it. So as we roll through this life, I've learned that if you just approach things head on social media, your account gets suspended. So I chose to just bring my personality into it, which, to be completely honest, I'm a fucking jerk off. I'm just a prankster, jokester. I don't care. I could care if I could give a fuck. If I could find one, I wouldn't give it, honestly. So I bring that into my reels, which is satire. Now, satire means I'm making fun of something that's real, honestly. So if you watch my reels, you'll see a bunch of bullshit, and then you'll see something that really hits home. That's why it's so interesting. And the page, you have to literally use critical thought. That's why in my bio it says critical thinking is key and belief is everything. Because you have to think, damn, what did I just watch? Is that real? Is that real? Or is that not real? So 9 times out of 10, you're gonna think it's satire, but it's real. I'm being dead serious. Like completely serious, but it's so you can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up what people do to each other and what the country is doing to you as an individual. So anyway, all right, so everybody's logging on. So let's get started. We're gonna go over my videos. It's very, very interesting. There's people asking me questions though, so maybe we'll hit them real quick. Um, should I sell my silver and gold? Look, if you follow me, you know I have thousands of ounces of silver, and it went up to 125, 126. Listen, everything's manipulated. Everything's a lie. So I can't give you good advice on this because if the whole world is saying it's going to go up, you better believe that the opposite is true. So basically, you can really take a look at what economists are saying, what the government is saying, and you could whatever the fuck they're saying, Do the opposite and you'll be okay. And they're not saying anything about it. So I'm not doing anything. So when you don't, evolved humans, when they don't know what to do, they do nothing at all. So that's where I'm at with that. Should I sell my gold and silver? I'll tell you what, I have a shitload of crypto that I purchased. I should sue Trump's son because Trump's son said that crypto, the first quarter of 2026, is going to make billionaires out of people with who own crypto. It's going to be the biggest quarter there ever was. Yada yada yada. I purchased crypto based on that statement. Well, guess what? I'm down, I don't know, a couple $100,000 based on that statement. So these people don't get held account, but I hold everybody to account because they hold me to account. Like, for example, in life, if some of the shit that they pull, if I was to do it, they would put me in under the prison and they would throw away the fucking key. Well, I expose these liars for what they are. They're all liars. They're all scam artists. For example, SpaceX's new IPO, right? They come out and on everybody's stream on social media, it says, oh yeah, uh, there's lunch ladies who are billionaires or millionaires now because of this IPO from SpaceX. Well, listen, I got news for you, genius. Number one, that lunch lady's not allowed to sell her SpaceX. Okay? Not allowed unless she takes a big penalty and she's not going to make any money at all. What they're going to do is the IPO is going to ride right before you're allowed to sell your shit. They're going to sell their shit and it's going to be worth nothing, just like the Trump coin. It's all fixed. The stock market we know now is all fixed. We've known that since the 80s, all fixed. So your best bet is still gold and silver. It's the only true currency there is. Unless, of course, we're talking spiritual. Spiritual currency is something different. But that's the only true currency that there is. I don't do politics, so I'm from Atlantic City. I could just tell you the man. I'll tell you a quick story about him. I don't dislike him. I have no feelings towards him one way or the other. If he was going to harm my family, I would deal with him just like I would deal with anybody else, right? So, but let me tell you what he did to my cousin. Just who you're dealing with. I'm going to tell you who you're dealing with. I'm from Atlantic City. It's not secondhand information. This truly happened. He purchased a mega yacht from a royalty, Saudi royalty. All right, I don't know if you remember this back in the 80s, and he needed a place to dock it, so he was going to purchase this because he was going to build this casino called Trump Marina in downtown Atlantic City. Well, the numbers didn't work. It was too gaudy, it was too big, it was ridiculous. He knew the numbers didn't work and he built it anyway. Now, this is who you're dealing with. And I'm not hating on him. He cares about money. That's why he's a billionaire. People who are billionaires stole the money from someone else. Let me explain. You can't be a billionaire without stealing from someone else. You can be a millionaire, but you cannot be a billionaire or trillionaire. Let me show you what he did. He builds the casino knowing the numbers aren't going to work. The moment the casino's finished, he throws it into bankruptcy, right? He runs the casino for 2 or 3 years, didn't even pay the electric bill, and they weren't allowed to shut it off on him. Didn't pay the electric bill, didn't pay my cousin who's a concrete contractor, right? $250,000. Puts my cousin, back. He didn't put him out of business, but man, he hurt him bad, right? Didn't pay anybody, ran the casino for 2, 3 years, and pocketed all the fucking money. He did that. He went bankrupt because before he built the place, he knew the numbers weren't going to work. And the only way the numbers worked is if he went bankrupt right after he built it. He knew that the numbers weren't going to work on Trump Marina, where he parked his his 1,000-foot yacht he bought off of Saudi royalty. That's who you're dealing with. I'm not hating on the man. He doesn't care about you. He cares about money. That's why he's a billionaire. Any billionaire, he became a billionaire from stealing from other people like every other billionaire on the planet. Someone had to lose with theft by deception in order for these people to become billionaires. It's scam. It's true. If you're from Atlantic City, you know that story. All right? But this is not a session on we hate Mr. Trump. We don't know Mr. Trump. You might trip and he might pick you up and say, "Are you okay?" Dust you off and hand you $10,000. I don't know him like that. Guarded him once. Okay. If you say so. I don't know the man. I just know when something happens to you when you go to Washington, as soon as you step through the fucking door, you become a liar and apparently you become a predator. Other than that, I know nothing about it. I know nothing about it. I know nothing about them. I don't do politics. I'm just saying you could be a decent. I could go and run for office, and I fashion myself as not a role model. Definitely not a role model. What would I fashion myself as? The everyday guy, a guy who raised 3 kids on his own. I've been on welfare. I've been a millionaire. I've been almost homeless. I've whatever. I've seen it all, right? All the hardships. I run for president. All of a sudden, I become this horrendous douchebag if I win. It's like they cloned me and just that's what happens. So I didn't do a video on that this week, but I probably should have, right? So let's go over the videos on my page. A lot of scams going on. You're losing your money in ways where you don't realize. And you know, it cracks me up when I what's up, man? When I do a video and then I get somebody who believes in the law and says the only reason why you're saying these things is because you're just another criminal and you're afraid to get caught. Well, let me explain this to you like you're 4 years old. Ready? All countries were founded by criminals and all countries are ran by criminals. They weren't given, they were taken, right? Through war, through murder, through rape, through all these things. And then when the dust settles, it's the biggest joke ever. When the dust settles, right? They give you a set of rules. The criminals give you a set of rules called society do's and don'ts that you're supposed to follow. And if you don't, somehow you're a criminal to those criminals. Think about what I just said. It's absurd, right? It's absurd. These people that are on TV are really not people you should listen to. Like, I wouldn't let any of them in my house. Like, if they knocked on my door, I don't give a shit who it is. I'd be like, dude, you're not coming in. Why? Because you're a fucking liar. Everything that's out of your mouth is a lie. I don't know if you know this or not. For example, how bad social media and the news plays with you and your mind. If you get elected to Congress, do you know you're not allowed to introduce a new bill or law or anything for the first 10 years? So if you go in as on one party or the other, it doesn't matter. You're not allowed to introduce a bill into Congress for the first 10 years. So all these people that you think that are, like they were making fun of that girl who got elected as a congresswoman. I don't even know her name. She's going to go in. She's going to make all these changes. She's going to do this, that, and the third. Dude, the only way they can vote is with their party, whether they agree with what's going on or not. They're not allowed to introduce any ideas, any bills, anything for the first 10 years. That's what you're dealing with. That's the shit you don't know, and that's why you follow me. So you can research that. That is truth. But anyway, there's so much good stuff on this list. Okay, ready? Money doesn't exist until you put forth a transaction. Money, digital money, doesn't exist until you originate a loan. You originate the loan. All right? So I'll give you a perfect example. You just worked 40 hours to 80 hours this week. You did. And it was gone in 45 minutes. Think about the insanity of this, right? Now, I'm the scam king for a reason, because I sit back and ponder these things. Think about the insanity here. Ready? You just worked 80 hours, and before you got off of work, the money was gone through auto pay. You never really got paid. It was a transactional. It was a transaction for your time, really. Okay? But while I'll tell you who I'll tell you why it's set up that way. Ready? When you do a direct deposit into your account, there's no such thing as a deposit. What you just did was loan the money. You work for the bank, in essence. They slave labored you for 80 hours. You got credits. They're fake. They went into the bank at 0% APR. So in essence, you loaned the bank money at 0% APR. That's what just happened. All right? After you loaned the bank money at 0% APR, after you did, the bank turned around instantly in a fraction of a second and funded credit card transactions for other people at 29% with your money, with your fake account money. They're credits, that's all they are. Then, in a fraction of a second, sold that 29% transaction for 20% cash, right? So the bank, off your $1,000 that you put in, made 20% on your money that you just slaved for 80 hours without even you knowing it. It's called securitization. It's called securitization. These are things you don't know about, you're not supposed to know about, and they want to keep them from you. All right? It's called securitization. So, one of the videos on my page this week were how you can stop that and you can make the 20%. And let me just tell you real quick, I'm not going to gatekeep. It's very simple. If you want to make 20% on your money, open an account with Fidelity Investments with Charles Schwab, for example, or Fidelity Investments. I went with Fidelity. Have your direct deposit into Fidelity's checking account, right? So instead of the bank buying securities, which is what I just told you, credit card transactions, that's what securities are, mortgages, credit card transactions, balloon payments, that kind of thing. You buy the securities with your own money, and then you borrow from your own money, called a margin, and pay yourself the interest on the margin. Pay yourself the 20% instead of the bank using it. This is how the ultra wealthy get rich. This is how the ultra wealthy get rich. All right? So that video is on my page. If you guys want to check it out, it's hot. It's smoking, man. It really works. And on top of that, there's that form that I show you on my page. There's a form from the IRS that if you fill it out and you have no disposable income, which is extra money, you pay no taxes. That's how the rich people pay no taxes. They file a tax return, but they do this form that's on my page. And when they do, they fill it out. And the way they fill it out, it looks like they have no disposable income, which means extra money. at the end of the month, and they the IRS after 10 years wipes out their tax debt. So if you want to learn how to do that, I'm the Scam King. You're not going to stop them from scamming, but you can beat them at their own scam, which is what I have done. I beat them for $190,000. That is a fact. I can prove it. Right? $190,000. The IRS right now owes me $250,000 from 2023 tax return. Still hasn't paid me yet. The IRS is a collection agency for you if you change your status, which that video is on my page as well. So anyway, so the fake digital money doesn't exist until you, like, for example, and I'll tell you this quickly. Ready? So you can understand. The federal government is not funded by your income tax dollar. So when you see one of these liar actors go up there, like the governor of Florida or any of the governors or anybody in Washington, and they say, you're wasting the tax dollars of the American people, that's a lie. That's a lie. That's how you know they're a liar. You don't have to go any further than that. The federal government is funded by treasury bonds. What happens is Washington issues treasury bonds in your social security number. It's on your birth certificate. You can actually see the account number where the treasury bond is, and it's attached to your social. Right? This is how it works. So when the government needs to be funded, all they do is the Fed, the central banking system, purchases those treasury bonds from Washington like a blank check. Unlimited money. It prints fake digital money in order to purchase the treasury bonds. There's nothing backing it, and no one asks any questions as long as they get a paycheck. That's how, think about this for a second. They're watching you and making sure you don't go and get a printing machine and print money. But in the meantime, they're printing money figuratively. They're not really printing it. They're just issuing credits. They're just issuing credit after credit after credit. There's no one at the top to be held accountable. There's no reason why they won't stop printing money. Think about it for a second. If they need a new aircraft carrier, they can just print the money and pay you to build it. It's their money. It says it on there. Property of U.S. government. Not yours. It's theirs. Right? So, this is what I'm trying to tell you. Everything to do with the money, including the stock market, all scam. Everything's a scam. And how you protect yourself is buying gold and silver, to answer that first question. Moving on. I'm going to save the best for last. All right. So there's a video on my page that has this on it. This right here. You guys see me wear this, especially when I'm out doing when I'm working around heavy electrical equipment. All right, so if you don't know, when I retired from, well, I'm still for hire in security. You can look at my LinkedIn and you can see that I'm for hire right now. And I do work in security, right? I work in both cybersecurity and also physical security, in logistics in security, okay? So when someone buys a $28 million house, for example, I go and set the house up for them, all of their phones, all this cyber-wise, all their phones, make it secure, all the cameras pointing in the right direction. You may not think that's a big deal, but believe me when I tell them to put a guard here, put a guard there, there's really highline people that other people are after that need protection. They need protection. Trump spends more money on personal protection than anybody else in the world. So when I'm doing that kind of work, I wear a lot of EMF protection. Why do I do that? It's the stuff I work around, all right, isn't going to kill me immediately. Just like it's not going to kill you. Your phone is not going to kill you. But over time, it disrupts your harmonic, um, they call it a soul, right? But your vibration. Anything that disrupts your magnetic field disrupts your vibration, gives you dis-ease, disease, dis-ease. You're not at ease. That's what it gives you. So when you wear a lot of copper, which is why when you see the Egyptians, for example, the Egyptians wore a lot of copper. The Mayans, the Incans, they wore a lot of copper because their electrical system, their electrical grid was set up through the air. It was wireless. It was like Tesla's, but to protect themselves, they even knew to wear a lot of copper and off of their skin, not touching their skin. And that's what this does. If you notice, this is graphite. People laugh at this thing, but I'm telling you, it works. This is graphite. This copper never touches my skin. Now, you don't need a lot of copper because when I wear this in front of me, it creates an EMF shield in front of me. So as I walk or drive through EMF, my moods don't swing. My body is not affected whatsoever. So this right here. If you want one of these, just text me and I'll tell you where to buy. You can actually get them on Amazon. It's called this one is called, and I have this shit everywhere. This one is called a Q-Link, a Q-Link, a Q-Link. You can get them on Amazon. They're $99. So this brings me to my next scam, which is your electric bill. The video's on my page. My electric bill is $1,000 a month in my 4,400 square foot house. Okay? It's $1,000 per month. That's what it is. My question, and please, if anybody has the answer, explain this like I'm fucking 4 years old because I can't figure it out. I'm just not smart enough. If my electric has tripled and smart cars or EVs, electric cars, are charged off of the same power grid as my house is powered, why has my electric bill in my house tripled, but it doesn't cost triple to charge your car? Anyone? So I can stop talking about this shit? Has anybody got an answer to that? Come on, certainly there's somebody who has an EV who can explain that to me. Because of the heat. Well, hold on. If you're getting charged for usage and prices for usage have gone up across the board, your power company said they have, right? I don't know how because they don't make electric. They only harness it and deliver it. So there should be only a delivery charge. FYI, they don't make electricity. But if your electric bill tripled in your house and it's $1,000 a month now, why isn't it 3 times the amount to charge your car? It's the same power grid. It's the same power grid. Maybe they're keeping the price low to get people to buy it. Yeah. And there's your answer. Your answer is, and this is why I do not trust or like Elon Musk. I don't like him and I don't trust him because he does not own SpaceX. He does not own Tesla. The people didn't own Apple. Bill Gates didn't own Microsoft, and on and on and on and on. Let me explain. Through mandates, laws, and regulations, the federal government owns Apple, Tesla, SpaceX, every company, Microsoft, every farm, every hospital, every insurance company, everything, all the way down to the landscaping company. And they say, unless you do this, you're not allowed to operate. Now, I don't know about you, but if you have to listen to somebody say, if you don't do this, you're not allowed to operate, they're your fucking boss. They're the ones that really own the company. Okay? So the US government really owns Tesla. They own all of they own Ford, they own Chevrolet, they own all this shit through mandate, through law. And if Ford doesn't do what they say, guess what? They shut them the fuck down. Well, this is what they did with Tesla and all the electric cars. What they've done, since they own the electric companies as well, this is what I'm trying to tell you. You got to think bigger. You got to think big. It's not Tampa Electric that's the problem. It's the U.S. government through mandate that's the problem. So think about this. Think on this for a second. All you got to do is use logic and say, if it costs me $1,000 a month to power my house, it's tripled in price. Why isn't on the same power grid? You pull up the Wawa, you charge your car, or you charge your car at home. It doesn't matter. Why is the price to charge my car, which, by the way, takes a Tesla of energy to charge a car? I don't know if you know what a Tesla is, but that's why these assholes named it Tesla. A Tesla of energy will kill you. It is a burst of energy. It's a very large burst of energy measured on a meter. If you're exposed to a Tesla of energy, you'll cook from the inside like a microwave. It doesn't matter if it's ionizing or non-ionizing, right? So I have all these geniuses that own Teslas, just as a side note, and they're like, "Oh, Scott, you can sit in a Tesla when it charges." It says not to in the owner's manual, but let's just put that aside for a second because it's non-ionizing, okay? So I say to them, so is the sun. The sun is non-ionizing as well. Energy, radiation coming from the rays. But if non-ionizing radiation was not poisonous, you could go out in the sun indefinitely and not get a suntan or get sun poisoning. Wake the fuck up. So extended exposure while you're sitting in a Tesla and you're charging it is going to give you cancer. But I'm never buying one. But back to the story on this video, I had a simple question. If your power bill, hold on. Well, this is why everything AKA wants us to turn electric cars. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot of backing behind electric cars, but I'm telling you right now, it's not the future. It's a fad. It's gonna go out. Whew. You're gonna see it, man. I'm telling you, because people are just gonna catch wise to it. Like right now, Toyota switched all the. You bought a Toyota because a Toyota lasts 500,000 miles. Now you buy a Toyota, it's a 160,000 mile car or truck. It doesn't matter. It's half electric and it's half gas. That hybrid engine, any service manager will tell you at Toyota, those half electric, half gas engines work in the Prius to 500,000 miles because it's a 1,000-pound car. But when you put it in a 2 or 3,000 pound pickup truck, it lasts 160,000 miles. But this is the question. Ask yourself through logic. This is a fucking scam. It's a scam, it's a scam, it's a scam. Why is my electric bill in my house tripled, but the people charging their Teslas and charging their cars haven't seen a rate increase if it's off the same power grid? That's all. Just explain that to me like I'm 4 years old if it's not a scam. And I'll say I'm wrong, and I'll do a whole video on how I suck and how I know nothing and I'm uneducated and whatever. My wife cheats on me, whatever you want to hear. Whatever. I'll make shit up just to make you feel better. But the fact is, if the cost of electricity is going up, listen to the words. It doesn't matter how much you use. 1 kilowatt of electricity, right? If it goes up in price, then 1 kilowatt of charging your Tesla should also go up. It's not. And the reason why it's not going up, because it's a fucking scam. And what they're either charging the homeowners, all of us, a tax because we drive gas vehicles, which is why gas is $5 a gallon. They want us all in electric vehicles, right? It's either a tax or it's some sort of they're funneling us into electric vehicles like cattle. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. So I think maybe that the people who the homeowners themselves are paying for the electric to charge all of these electric cars, and they've just spread the cost out through mandate, through scams, through the government. The government told the power companies what to do. They own Tesla, they own all the electric car companies, they own Ford, they own Chevrolet through mandate, through law. They told them what to do and they did it. Okay? So there's that. There's that. Just something for you to think about. I'm not trying to change your mind. I'm just saying something for you to think about, right? All right. The next one I have is another what the fuck. Smart meter data theft. All right. Do you guys see this? Here, YouTube. You see that? Here, Instagram. Do you see that? Do you see this, Facebook? Do you see this, Instagram? Do you see this? Do you guys see these 2 ports right here? Do you? Okay, do you see that? Usually you find these in the kitchen, and now they're all over the houses. And they're all over the houses because you can plug your phone in and charge it. You could plug a device in, you could charge it, you could do whatever you want, and you could just charge it. Now, here's what you don't know. With the invention of the computer on the side of your house called a smart meter, that's all it is. It's a theft computer. They don't measure how many kilowatts your house uses. They simply take a square footage of your house and do an estimate. They don't charge you. They say they do, but they don't charge you on how much electricity you've used. And a perfect example of this is if somebody leaves Florida for 6 months, locks everything down, shuts off everything except for the main breaker, everything is off, the house is vacant, they get the same exact bill as if they lived there. This is how we caught them because I'm in the housing business now. I'm a realtor, a home inspector, a contractor, a master home inspector, and contractor. So I would do wellness checks on houses because they would say, "Hey, we just got a $600 or electric bill on our 4,000 square foot house. It's winterized." So I caught them stealing by writing down the numbers from the meter, and what they do is they told me flat out. The electric company said, "We don't read the meters. We don't. We take a square footage, like how big the house is, an estimate in the neighborhood, and we charge everybody the same bill that has a 4,000 square foot house. Everybody gets the same bill." Okay? The smart meter on the side of your house is a computer. It's a dangerous one too. It's responsible for all the fires in California. If you don't believe me, read the blogs. If you don't believe me, read the blogs. Okay? Completely responsible for all of the fires in California, smart meters. Well, when you plug your phone into this, now before you geniuses say anything to me that this is not possible, cable TV is called cable TV because there's a little piece of copper that transmits data through a wire Okay? So since 1976, they've been transmitting data through copper wire. All right? When you plug your phone into this, the smart meter transfers data back and forth to your phone through the copper wire in your house. This is how, when you go to the airport and you plug your phone into a charger port, they steal your data. They're now doing it to your house and invaded your privacy. This is a scam. All right, it's the truth. And your electrical system in your house is now compromised. Now you're going to say, why would they do that, Scott? They could just get our data from our telephone. Our service carrier has all the data. They have our contacts, they got our photos. Because if you read your terms and conditions in early 2026, they everybody's new terms and conditions came out. They own all of your videos, all of your photos, anything that's stored on a cloud. They own. You don't. Everything. It's kind of like uploading a photo to social media now. They own it. You don't own it. So you're going to say to me, they don't even need to bounce radio frequencies off of your. It's my son telling me to have a good day. That's fucking nice. I'm going to call him after this. I'll tell you the story between me and my son in a minute. All right, these kids think that we're their friends. We're not their friends. We're their parents. The fucking kid hates me because I was rough on him, but now he loves me. Now he understands because he's got a family of his own. Anyway, back to it. So, your data is compromised through your phone carrier. There's no way around it. You can't protect your children. You can't protect yourself. It's listening to you. It's listening to you to you have sex. It's watching you when you're naked. It's doing all of these things. Your phone. It is. Not only that, but what it's doing is it's mapping out your daily routine. So for example, if a 25-year-old woman gets up every morning 5 days a week, goes to the gym, comes home, takes a shower, eats breakfast, goes to work, comes home, has a glass of wine, talks to her friends on the phone, goes to bed. On the weekend, she goes out partying, goes with her girlfriend or boyfriend, whatever, right? If that cycle, if that pattern changes in the slightest bit, for example, if she gets pregnant, that pattern is going to change. And when the pattern changes, which is kept on a Microsoft spreadsheet, everything she does, checks and balances, everything she does. It is watched by AI. Once that pattern changes, and say she's pregnant, immediately she's going to start seeing ads for pregnancy. They're going to know she's pregnant before she does. So the phone carrier wants your data to show you ads. All right, it's not all about conspiracy and invading your privacy and listening to your conversations. It's not about that. They're literally, they figured out through 5 and 6G that local thought is a radio frequency and they can read it. That's why when you're thinking of something and you're scrolling, it pops up now. Your phone can read your mind. You can already see it. To deny that is lunacy and delusion. So, your phone carrier has first dibs, of course, but people say, well, then why the fuck would they do it with a smart meter? Why would they do this through your router? Okay? Why? Because the information is so valuable that your power company wants it too, so it could sell it. Your internet provider wants the same data. That's why it bounces radio frequency off your walls and does a 3D map of the inside of your house. This is how this technology's been out since the 90s. This is how they find people in houses when your house is going to get raided and they're stacked up at the door. Your house is going to get raided. They've bounced the radio frequency off the inside of your walls. They know where you're standing, behind what door, where the drugs are. They know everything. They can see it in real time. This is why they outlawed, by the way, lead-based paint in 1978. They outlawed lead-based paint in 1978 because lead absorbs that frequency and they don't get the data back. This is why they outlawed lead-based gasoline, because when the radar gun, which came out in the 40s through the Navy, police started using it in the 50s, actually, 50s and 60s. Then they started clocking your speed with the cars, right? Bouncing radar radiation off your car, and then it bounces back to the police officer. Well, guess what? If you have a tank full of lead, it absorbs the radiation and they never get the signal back and they can't tell you how fast you're going. Same thing with copper pipes in your house, right? Which is why everything now is PVC and CPVC and PEX and no more copper. Same thing with lead-based paint. So I am the scam king. This is what I do. I look deep into this shit. And this is not a conspiracy. What was called a conspiracy 10 years ago is now objective fact. So whatever, if you don't think I'm right. So smart meters on the side of your house are bad. They're bad because, number one, if your child's bed is up against the same wall, I want you, when this live is over, I want you to go in and rearrange the child's bed to the opposite wall. So if the meter is outside your child's bedroom or your bedroom, I want you to take your headboard and put it on the opposite wall, because it throws off such an EMF and RF, radio frequency, which is the worst. It throws such a frequency off. It's like sleeping in a I don't want to over dramatize this. It's not the human signature. You simply can't be exposed to this. It's like your kid sleeping in a microwave for 10 years, 20 years. You can't do that. They're going to get sick, and you can read the side effects of EMF exposure and radio frequency exposure, and the side effect is cancer. Not everybody's going to get cancer from this, but you mix that with the fake foods, you mix that with your luck, and boom, your kid's got leukemia. Horrible. So you don't want to do that. You want to put the bed on the opposite wall, as far away from that fucking meter as possible, right? Just good advice. All right. So they've beat 5G videos to death on social media. But I was hired because a whole family had some headaches in Bradenton, Florida. So I knocked on all the neighbors' doors and found out it wasn't just that neighbor, it was the neighborhood. And I stumbled across the 5G small cell, which are white boxes. You can see the video that's on my page where I'm pointing at a homeowner saying, look, he's got $1 million house. They all have headaches. Check out that video. If you see one of these boxes in your neighborhood, call the FCC and tell the FCC that you're getting headaches ever since they installed it. Okay, let me explain to you what a 5G small cell does. Right? Ready? Been around since the 90s. 5G stands for fifth generation frequency. It's a radio frequency. The higher the frequency, the shorter the distance it can travel. So they need jump boxes, and they put them on telephone poles. The problem is, if the tower is on the other side, on road A, and the signal needs to travel through a neighborhood, they'll put the boxes through the neighborhood. If your house is in line with those boxes, your cats are going to die, dogs are going to die. And this is documented. I have it all documented in Bradenton, Florida, where this whole neighborhood is getting headaches. You can watch the video. It's on my page. It's a fucking scam. I called the FCC. They refused to meet with me, right? They said I'm not in my lane. I said I'm in my lane. I'm licensed for this shit. Whatever, dude. If you don't take it down, the homeowner said he's going to cut it down himself. And the FCC, on the box is a sticker that says Florida Water and Power. You call the number, and the number's a fake number. It's a fake sticker. Florida Water and Power. I went to a lineman. They were working on the lines across the street from me. I said, "Do you guys service these boxes? Did you install this box?" He goes, "I don't even know what that is." So what it is just some dudes in a van who probably don't even know what this thing is. They were contracted by some third party, and they put these boxes up, and they're putting them on poles with transformers. Now, a dead giveaway, if you watch the video, is it's a white box. It's that big. It's a box. It sits on a pole. It looks like a medic box, like at your like OSHA would have for you to get medical supplies out of at your work. And that's how big it is. It's about this big. It's about that deep, and it's strapped to a pole. Then there's a wire coming out of it, a thick cable with an antenna they call a mask. Now here's the problem: in your neighborhood, while your cats are dying, you're dying. You have a headache. You can't figure it out. You're getting sick. You're getting nauseous. You're depressed. You drive through, and every time you're gonna on your way home, you feel depressed. You might think it's your husband or your wife, wind up getting a divorce, but in fact, you're driving through a very, very powerful electromagnetic field. The problem is the people that they hire to install these things, and I don't know if this is on purpose because they're doing a ops on the neighborhood. Like for example, the government will do ops on a community, like they released syphilis in they released syphilis in New York City in the '60s in the black community. The government did that. They let it run rampant. That was a controlled test. They also came up with long Lyme's disease from Lyme's, Connecticut. They took a German scientist. He created this bioweapon. A tick jumped on a bird. The bird flew to the mainland, and now everybody's life is much shorter in Lyme's, Connecticut, who's been bit by that. If you've ever had Lyme's disease, uh, you know, you know what I'm talking about. You can't get rid of it. So the government may be doing an operation on this neighborhood in um, simply in Bradenton, Florida, may be the explanation. As a matter of fact, I had another home inspection for a $3 million house on the water on the same street, and I pulled up to the house. I said, "Fuck, I can't believe this." I call up the owner, the potential owner, and I said, "Hey, here's the situation on the street." I had to give him his $1,500 back. He said, "I don't want the house." I was like, "Good for you." I was actually happy I refunded him the money, but this is serious stuff. It's serious stuff. You can choose to believe it or not believe it, but at the end of the day, you can't stop the poison food. You can't stop the bioengineered food. You can't stop the GMO. It's been out since the '90s. You can't stop the mandates. You can't stop the government. You can't stop them. You have to protect yourself, and I'll teach you how. That's what my page is about. Teaching you how to protect yourself against this stuff so you don't die at 55 years old. So anyway, so if you have a headache, you can't figure it out, walk outside. Go take your dog for a walk. If you're moody, if you have mood swings, if you can't figure out why, just all of a sudden you just feel dread, you don't know what it is, go take your dog for a walk and watch the video. And if you see on my page, and if you see anything like that hanging in your neighborhood, call the FCC, and the FCC will have them remove it. End of story. Set an appointment with the FCC guy, girl, and the FCC will come out, and they'll do a test on it, and they will remove it. They're the ones who put it there in the first place. They allowed the permit. Everything goes through the FCC, but when they get exposed, when they get caught, they remove things. They really do, and that's basically what they've done. I caught them. All right, so that's it. All right, next video on my page. Complete douchebaggery. $32 for two 9-volt batteries. What the fuck are we doing? $32 for two 9-volt batteries at Lowe's. The video's on my page if you don't believe me. What douchebaggery is this? I mean, okay. I don't know what we're doing here, right? Somebody has to slow it down for me and explain it to me. $32 for two 9-volt batteries. I'll let you watch the video, but I'm gonna leave it right here. 2026 is the year that everybody in the world figures out they paid too much for their house, their investments are gone, the food they're eating is poisoning them, and the government is a fucking liar. This is the year it all comes about. All right? I'm not going to talk about that anymore. $32 for two 9-volt batteries. Must I say more? The answer is fuck no. All right? You're a fucking jerk off, and so is the people who run Lowe's if you pay $32 for two 9-volt batteries. Sorry. I don't want to talk about it no more. Because it's so stupid. It's like literally when you go to a restaurant and there's 5 restaurants like in a row, you order a cheeseburger from restaurant A. It came from Cisco Foods. It's the same cheeseburger in restaurant B. It's the same cheeseburger in restaurant C. And you know, it's $15 here, $16.95 here, $21 here. All right. Next video on my page is a dangerous one, and I mean this. Before I say it, who remembers the buildings falling in the buildings come crashing down in Miami? Who remembers that? Anybody? Okay, I frequent Miami all the time, dude. Miami Beach, it's like my second home. I love Miami Beach. They've ruined it. They turned it into a complete shit show, gouging bonanza. Everything's closing down. The rent, I've heard it all. The rents are too high. I went to this place called Bacon Bitch. If you ever go to Miami, never go to this place. My wife saw it on social media. Just so you know, most food reviews on social media are a scam. It's a lie. It's somebody who paid that person to tell everybody that the food is good. There's a couple good food reviews, but a lot of it, especially in a new restaurant, is like you go there after you watch the food review and the fucking food sucks. So if you're gonna go to a restaurant, go to a restaurant that a regular food reviewer, somebody who all their content is food review, that person tells you to go to. Okay? That's probably more reputable than the person who was paid to do a food review. All right? So the buildings, to switch gears here, the buildings in Miami, the buildings fell and killed a couple. I think it was 1,000 people. All right, and then the buildings sunk. The buildings sunk into the ground. The Porsche building is sinking into the ground. They know that from GPS satellite imaging. All of the buildings are sinking in Miami. They know this from GPS satellite tracking. This is a fact. All right. The Porsche building, I don't know if you know this, but it's on A1A. The building's so fucking tall you can't even see the if you're standing next to it, you can't see you cannot see the top floor. It's 1,000 stories high. I don't know how many stories it is, but it's way too big and way too thin, and it even looks dangerous. I couldn't imagine being in it. It's got to sway. It would drive me nuts. But Florida just so you know, is built, it's all limestone and it washes away. So when the aquifers, and a minor tremor underground can empty or fill an aquifer, right? If it empties an aquifer, it creates a sinkhole. If there's too many people using the water, it creates a sinkhole. And these are huge caverns, miles deep, with nothing in them. They're just gravity, just nothing, just a big black gaping hole, 6, 8 feet underground from the surface, and it might go down a mile, 2 miles. It's just, they're huge. And the buildings in Orlando now, January, February, March 19th, 2 buildings in Orlando fell into a sinkhole. The first one fell into a sinkhole. They evacuated all the people, and they were too big. They were too tall. And the pipes broke in the foundation. The doors wouldn't open. People couldn't get out of their units fast enough because the doors and the door frames were pinched. The windows were all pinched. They didn't open. Like, they almost lost 375 people. They evacuated it, and then they evacuated the building next to it because the same thing is going to happen. This is a fact. You can Google it, right? So the buildings fell in Orlando. Excuse me, fell in Miami. They're falling in Orlando. So I did a video for Tampa because Tampa and St. Pete are now building the same size buildings. And I'm telling you now, I'm going on record, and I'm telling you now that if a tremor or something, anything, could upset the limestone, it's not bedrock. There's no bedrock. There's no, it's impacted limestone. That's what it is. There's no bedrock. There's no granite. So if you drive pilings down into the ground and in 2026, they're impacted into the impacted limestone. 2020, by 2028, that might be gone. So the videos on my page, it's inevitable that the buildings in Tampa and St. Pete, those buildings will suffer the same consequences as the buildings in Orlando and the ones in Miami. Florida is not designed, I'm so sorry to tell you, is not designed for high rises, for big buildings. The ground is, this is a swamp, just so you know. Florida is a swamp. It's a swamp. Kind of like California is a desert, Florida's a swamp. So I would never live in a big building because of that. I work out in a gym in the bottom of one of those big buildings, and I am a student of something called divine providence. So I don't live in fear, but the thought does cross my mind every day when I walk into this gym, because the buildings are just too tall, right? So if you're in Florida, anything that's built by a corporation, stay away from it. Stay away from it. Don't do it. Get yourself a nice trailer. Be happy. Live within your means. It's just money. Doesn't mean shit. Believe me. The biggest dirt balls on the planet have a lot of money. Do you really want to be part of that crowd? I don't think so. Just have enough. Balance. Everything balance. Everything balance. Just enough to do what you want when you want to do it. That's perfect. Too much of anything, including money's not good. Right? Next scam on my page. You're going to love this one. Rental applications. Who here has gone and applied for a condo or a rental apartment or a single family home, and they showed you the model? They showed you the model and then took your $150 rental application plus $50 per adult. So they'll take a single mother, right, who needs a 2-bedroom condo for her and her 2 children, and they'll take $150 off of her. They'll show her the model unit. They'll show it to her. This is what you're getting, right? She'll go downstairs. They'll take $150 off of her for a rental application, fucking knowing that she doesn't qualify, or worse than that, knowing there's no vacancy. They don't have a unit for this woman. And each month, these big, huge rental corporations make hundreds of thousands of dollars scamming people. So, this is how you stop that. Unless you see the unit that you're literally going to rent, don't give them no fucking money. If you go to Craigslist or Marketplace and they're taking applications, you have to verify that they own the house, single family house, number one, or apartment building, number one. And you have to verify that the unit actually exists. So a good practice is to set an appointment and say, I want to see the unit where I'm going to be living, me and my children. Okay? Because if they can't show you the unit and they say, oh, well, the current owner is, or it's not vacant, the current people still live, they're living there. Fuck you. It's a scam. They're going to take your money. That scam is older than the Craigslist scam where they put a rental sign up in front of a vacant house. You rent the house, you wire your deposit, and they don't own the fucking house, right? The rental application scam is just a scam that rich people do to poor people because they know they can, and no one investigates it because it's only $150 and who gives a fuck. So don't fall for that shit. So that scam is older than I am. I'm 53, so they've been doing it forever. But a lot of the shit on my page is just reminding you of this douchebaggery, because that's what it is. You cannot take money off a single parent who $150 is a lot of money to someone raising 3 kids. It doesn't matter if they have money or not. $150 is, school stuff, school clothes. All right, ready? Next scam on my page. So all of these are true. Did you know that hearses do not carry dead bodies from hospitals, do not carry dead bodies to the crematorium? In fact, Uber drivers who drive minivans and food service drivers who drive the same minivan, like Uber Eats and DoorDash, are third-party drivers and drive around dead bodies from the hospital to the funeral parlor to the crematorium. They use the same exact vehicle. How's that? This video is on my page. Uber drivers, DoorDash drivers, when they are not working for Uber or DoorDash, use that same minivan to pick up dead bodies and deliver them to they deliver them to the funeral parlor, which charges you 25 grand for the funeral, and then the funeral parlor then hires them to take the same body to the crematorium, which either cremates it and does what they're supposed to do, or in fact, like they did to my father's body, I think, they sell the body to medical research, animal food, like dog food, cat food companies, whatever, and you get ashes back that are not your family's. Call me a liar. I'll tell you right now, in the state of New Jersey, there's something called a chain of custody for, when you get in trouble. You've heard of that, right? We've all watched CSI. Chain of custody. Somebody gets caught with a kilo of cocaine. Cop A has it. He signs off on it, gives it to the next cop. He signs off. That's called a chain of custody. Chain of custody of evidence, right? Well, you can't drive around dead bodies, right, without the paperwork. So in New Jersey, they have something called a chain of custody. You pick up a body, you got to sign. You drop off a body, you got to sign. You got to have paperwork, or a cop would pull you over. I know if I was a cop, I pulled somebody over and they said, they had a bag in the back, a body bag, which you could buy on Amazon, with a body in it. I'd have some questions, right? If if they don't have the paperwork, I'd have some fucking questions, right? And they'd be sitting in the back of my car, handcuffed, backwards, beat up and maced, until I figure it out. So in Florida, the great state that we all love, not everybody uses the chain of custody. So, in fact, you may have a funeral parlor who doesn't use the chain of custody, give the body to an Uber driver, DoorDash driver, and that person puts the body in the back of their vehicle, maybe then goes and delivers a couple DoorDash and Uber Eats, right? Maybe goes grocery shopping for you. Same exact vehicle. Think about this. And then around 4 or 5 o'clock says, yeah, I better get to the fucking crematorium before they shut down. Maybe. And delivers the body. How disgusting and gross. And these are the same people who are hired to go to places like Restaurant Depot to pick up frozen food in those same minivans, drive for 2 hours, right? Unrefrigerated, as a driver service to these mom and pop restaurants, these little Mexican restaurants and Italian restaurants that we all eat at. Completely unsanitary, shit you don't think about, and this is why you follow me. This is all true. You can watch the videos on my page. You can check it out. Everything I'm telling you is the truth. It's just shit you don't see. Like I said, Uber drivers, you know, they don't just drive people around. They don't just deliver food. They also work for restaurants and go and pick up orders. So when a restaurant, mom and pop restaurant on, for example, on Bush Boulevard, who serves all of the Muslims, needs more fake halal meat, right, to serve their people, they'll hire an Uber driver or a DoorDash driver who has a minivan to go and pick up their order. This is a fact. And that third party driver is under no obligation to tell them that they also deliver dead bodies to crematoriums and such. I think it's fucked up. And I think you should know about it. So you can check all that shit out. This is why you follow me. I believe nothing. I come to this world believing that I am a very uneducated and stupid man. And I have to really think everything out methodically. I'm uneducated and I'm slow. Therefore, I have to look at everything using logic. I don't go around telling people how smart I am. I literally tell people I'm uneducated, and I I live my life this way, which allows me to look at things logically and figure scams out that are in your face that you don't see. All right. I think I've said enough on that topic. It's fucking gross. So cook at home. And if you need to know where to cook, text me where to buy your meat. All right. I'm not going to send you some link that has my number in it so I get some commission. I'm never going to turn into a guy like Joe Rogan or Dr. Oz that sells shit that doesn't fucking work just for the money. Believe me, I get offers all the time to plug products because I get 31 million views per month. That's a fact that I don't use and I don't believe in, and I tell them to fuck off because you're never going to get that on my page. I already have money, and for me, it's not about the money. Okay, so Joe Rogan, shame on you, buddy. You make $25 million a year, and you're telling people you're selling products that don't work. You're Dr. Oz. You're the new Dr. Oz. Congratulations. I love you, bud. But wrong, bad. So, um, This next thing, surge protectors. Okay. Listen. Every sitting president in my whole life has always said that the power grid is insufficient. They've said the power grid's insufficient. It's open for terrorist attack. It is going to, it is just horrible, right? Right? Please post the list. Actually, you have to text me. I can't post the list. You have to text me, and I will send you a link to where I buy my grass-fed and finished meat. It's a Florida farmer. They deliver anywhere in the United States, and they deliver for free if you order enough of it. I lost 97 pounds. This was how. But anyway, surge protectors. Okay. All of the houses in California burnt down because some genius somewhere put a computer, high-powered computer called a smart meter, on the side of houses that were simply not designed to have a smart meter. Somebody hacked into the power grid, and when they did, they got access to the high-powered computer on the side of their house, which controls the voltage and the amps that go into the houses. And it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure it out. What happened next? Somebody pushed a fucking button, and when they did, a surge went into all those houses in California, and all of the houses with smart meters in California burnt to the fucking ground, and everybody lost all their shit. All right, and you can read that on the blogs of the survivors. Any house that had a surge had a any house that had a uh, smart meter on the side of it burnt down in California because of this. Because the computer smart meter threw a spike into the house and just fucking caught everything. Just here's how it works. All you have to do to throw a spike into a house. So I'm a contractor. You can Google it. I'm a master home inspector. So I've renovated even this house. We're in this 4,400 square foot house. Renovated this thing from the dust. Right? Know everything there is to know about a house. When my wife was deported, I just do now security in the United States. I don't leave the United States because my family, my kids, I have 6 children. I just couldn't leave. I just couldn't. So I had to get into something else. So I got into the housing market. So I know everything there is to know about the electricity and how these smart meters work and how they slammed them on the side of every house in America without one safety inspection. All right. And they paid the price in California and Hawaii because somebody, probably a state, hacked into it. And when they did, they burnt these fucking houses to the ground. And I'm telling you now, the reason why in 2026 it's mandatory if you have a smart meter, when they build a house, it's mandatory that you have a surge protector inside the electrical panel or next to it for this reason. Breakers only work one way. So if you drop a hair blower, a hair dryer into the sink, it throws the breaker, right? But all you have to do to throw a spike into a house is get rid of the neutral. So you have the hot, the ground, the neutral, right? 3-phase. What makes it alternating current is the current alternates hot ground, hot ground, hot ground, hot ground. But there has to be a neutral. So if a tree cuts a line and it blows out everything in your house, what it really did was it cut the neutral line, right? So now all you have is direct power, which is what your car runs off of. Direct power going into your house and blew all the fucking appliances in all of these houses in California and started all these fires. Everything just lit on fire. I don't know how everybody didn't die, but somehow they didn't. And houses were just going up and nobody could figure it out. I've heard it all. This is the reason right here. They finally figured it out. And to fix that, they've made it mandatory that you have a surge protector, a full house surge protector on the side of your house. So the scam is the electric companies so they could fire their meter readers, right? And through mandate, through the government, remember the government owns all business in the United States, through mandate, through laws that passed down, told them they have to put smart meters on. They put smart meters on. There was no safety inspections to make sure the house is equipped with a 3-wire wiring harness with a ground or any of that. They just did it while you were asleep, like ninjas, put it on the side of your house. Somebody hacked into the power grid and burned all the fucking houses to the ground. So now it's mandatory in 2026. Code is you have a surge protector at your breaker box. So if that smart meter again gets hacked, and it will, they're on every house. Somebody, if they were smart enough, AI, if it went live, like Skynet, could literally spike every fucking house in the United States through the smart meter, through the power grid. So they made it mandatory now. If you don't have one, get yourself a full house surge protector. Don't kid yourself. This could happen to you. All right. So that's the scam. The scam is the smart meter with no surge protector. Make sure you protect your family. All right. Okay. I am going to cover a topic now called Flat Earth. This is where I'm going to gain a bunch of people watching my live, and I'm going to lose a bunch of people. Because a bunch of people are going to think I'm a whack job, and a bunch of people are going to say he's a fucking genius. All right. I could care less if the world is flat or if the world is round. I cover this topic because I just don't want you to believe what the fuck they tell you without personally verifying it, which is what evolved humans do. So if somebody goes on TV and says, hey, there's a new vaccine that's out that protects you from being whatever color your skin is, most people are going to turn around and go, I guess we better go get that vaccine because they trust the government. Just like when you walk into the grocery store and you start grabbing shit off shelves, you trust somebody checked that fucking shit out to make sure it was safe to eat. When in fact, nobody checked it out to make it was safe to eat. To make sure. You assume somebody checked that shit out. So, if you look at any of the candy for the kids, it's made in Mexico or Canada to bypass any of our laws. And it all says bioengineered food, which is the catalyst for the end of the world. When you start eating that shit, you're going to see by 2030, there's going to be a lot of sick people. A lot of sick people on the planet. I'm going to tell you how to protect yourself from that at the end of this live. But I cover flat earth because I just don't want you to fucking believe what they tell you and assume safety when you walk into a grocery store or any place. You assume they checked the food out and you assumed it's safe to eat. You did. We all do. You go to a restaurant, they put the plate of food in front of you. You assume that the person who made it had a hairnet on, a mask on, doesn't have syphilis, doesn't have all these, washed themselves and is not a sadist and spit in your food. You assume this shit. But the truth is, none of that is true. These are just human beings. And usually, by the way, the only people, when you get out of prison, since you're in the system, the only places that will hire you are kitchens. Right? So, just telling you, don't assume shit. Because no one is going to protect you. They made it 100% clear. You're responsible for your own safety and your own security. So, flat earth. You can Google this. I have my pilot's license. The reason why I have my pilot's license is because I have a rare form of OCD. Very rare form. Which means that I got to continually keep my mind busy at all times moving forward on a topic and laser focused on something. If not, I go fucking bad. Not a little bit bad. I start making bad decisions. It's a superpower, and with superpowers, OCD is a superpower. With a superpower, you have to learn how to harness that superpower, which is what allows me to do so good at what I do. That's why I was a good operator. That's why I people follow me. It's my uniqueness. I have a very rare case of OCD. So what I do is I get these licenses. Like I have a license to fly. I fucking hate flying. I almost got killed in a helicopter in Colombia. I fucking hate it. But I have a license to fly, right? I've flown. I've been all over the world. I'm just, you know, I'm a worldly guy, right? Grew up ultra rich, so I didn't have to work, just being completely honest with you. Couldn't stand my family because they're a bunch of scumbags. So I moved away and just lived that life working for, like, like I said, Blackwater. Just, I went off grid, bro. I went completely off grid and lived this life like the movie Savages, to be completely honest. And I still do. I still do. Right. So, um, long story short, they have you believing that Earth is round so bad that you actually believe you see a curvature on a horizon when you look. All right? They have you believing it. It's so, as a matter of fact, you believe the Earth is round that when you look outside of your airplane window, you actually believe that you're looking at something round. When in fact, you don't understand that light bends around water. The reflection of water bends light and gives it the appearance to be bowed. That's why rainbows are bowed, when in fact a rainbow goes straight across. But a rainbow is bowed because it's a optical illusion. All right. So let me explain flat Earth to you as I know it as a pilot. There's something called an altimeter. An altimeter gives you your height, how your altitude, how high you are from sea level. It only works on a flat, fixed surface. That's all it works. It doesn't work on a round surface, a moving surface. It only works on a flat, fixed surface, and it bounces radar back up to the altimeter, and the altimeter tells you how high you are. That's how it works, right? A compass it shows you magnetic north and shows you magnetic south. When you hold a compass flat, you have to. If you hold a compass like this, it doesn't work. Like this, it doesn't work. Like this, it doesn't. You have to hold it. You have to hold it almost perfectly level, or actually perfectly level, in order for that compass to find magnetic north. Now, listen to the logic and ask yourself this question. Do you really think that that compass could find magnetic north going through a round globe, through all of the heavy metals, through all of the iron ore, through all of the everything, the rock, the granite, all of those metals? Do you really think that that $20 compass is strong enough, the magnet on it, to go through the earth to find magnetic north and magnetic south? No matter where you are on the earth, it does. That in itself is proof that where we live on the earth is a flat plane. That's why they call it an airplane. It flies over a flat plane. Airplane flies over a flat plane. Okay? In addition, Ready? You cannot have a vacuum, which they call space, next to a pressurized system, which they call atmosphere, without a solid barrier. Cannot happen. That's why the vacuum hoses in your car and your motorcycles are solid barriers. There's a vacuum inside, there's an atmosphere outside. Now listen to me, because I know, nope, the earth is not flat. Okay, listen. Here's where you're all getting it wrong. The earth is round like a cell. If you've ever heard of the Fibonacci code, Fibonacci was a priest. He figured out that all things follow this numbered sequence, and that's why a conch shell or a sunflower, every one of them is perfect in creation. A cell is perfect in creation because it follows this mathematical equation, right? Everything on earth follows this mathematical equation that Fibonacci saw, which tells us that the earth is round on the outside. Okay? But logic, our five senses, touch, taste, feel, sight, and hearing, plus logic, plus science. Science is the study of things you can physically touch. That's what it is. Science applies to this piece of paper because I can physically touch it and verify that it's a piece of paper. Science does not apply to space because you can't verify it. Science does not apply to the moon, Mars, or the sun because you can't physically touch it and verify it. The word science literally means something that you can touch and verify. You can look that up. Okay? So the earth, according to the Fibonacci code, is round like the cells in your body, like everything. But we live inside the earth on a flat surface, a plane. And that flat surface can be observed because water finds its level, because of many, just there's so much evidence to prove that the earth is flat. In addition, there is no correction in a flight plan for the curvature of the earth. In addition, the Navy has a weapon called a rail gun. All right, has another weapon called a laser. It's a laser weapon. They can shoot a ship from 300 miles away. That's not possible if there's a curvature of the earth. So here's the answer to break it to the ridiculously simple for you. Okay? The earth is round, but we don't live on the outside crust. We live inside on the flat plane. That's where we live. The exterior of the earth is called the firmament. It's a solid, like the wall of the cells in your body. And the firmament, you can't go through. There's no way in or out. It's a sealed system. Okay? The moon and the sun and all the stars that you see are local. I don't know if you've ever been to a planetarium, but if you ever woke up and you didn't know you were in a planetarium, if you didn't realize you were in a planetarium, you would swear that when you look up in the sky, you're looking at things that are far away, or whatever they tell you, whatever they've convinced you, right? Whatever lie they want to convince you. So the truth is, the earth is round, so that argument is over. The earth is also flat. It's impossible to live in a vacuum, so we do not live on the outer crust. Okay? We live inside the earth, which is a sealed system. The moon and the sun rotate around the flat frisbee disc. It's round. The watch is a mini version of the earth. The two hands, the reason why they used a sundial, right? In ancient times, they used a sundial to tell you what time it was, is because the earth, the sun and the moon rotate like this on the outside wall of the firmament, on the inside, but around the firmament, right through the sky. You have to deny your senses. You're looking at the sun, it's moving through the sky, but they tell you that the earth is moving. You can't feel it move. You just believe them with blind faith. You can't go through life anymore believing the government through blind faith, is what is the point I'm trying to make. Okay? Everything that they've told you, everything is a lie. Everything. All right? Everything that they're telling you now is a lie. They're nothing more than paid actors. They don't run the country. A lot of you people hate this guy or hate that guy, or it's this guy's fault or previous administration. I got news for you, bub. There's a reason why the most powerful country in the world, us, only has a president for 4 years. They can't change anything in 4 years. They can't make any policy changes. They can't do shit. And the next guy or girl undoes what the first guy did. Because it's all a show, dog and pony show. How many times do they gotta lie to you before you just fucking say, you know what, I don't believe a word you say? I've been in that place my whole life. I don't believe a word anybody says, which has made me who I am, the scam king. That's why I can see them from a mile away. So, you see, I don't care if the earth is flat. I don't care if the earth is round. That's not why I do flat earth things. I do flat earth things because I simply don't want you to believe anything that you personally haven't verified. That you personally haven't verified. How do you verify them? You ask yourself two questions. If I say something to you, like we talk about the ancestral diet all the time. The ancestral diet is never eat anything that your ancestors haven't eaten 500 years ago. Whatever they ate 500 years ago, that's what you're supposed to eat now. Genetically, that's what you're designed to eat, right? Think about it. I say to you, genetically, you're designed to eat only what your ancestors ate. That makes sense. So you don't believe it. You take it in, you contemplate it. This is how you operate in this world. Evolved humans. Take it in and contemplate it. Contemplate exactly what I just said. Well, it kind of makes sense. It makes a lot of sense that my body's probably designed to eat only what my ancestors ate 500 years ago. That makes sense, right? By accident, by design, your grandmother taught your mother how to cook. She's cooking the same thing that the people ate 500 years ago. It was passed down through the lineage. That's why there was no fat people in the 70s. Okay, because everybody taught the next generation how to cook. That doesn't happen anymore. So we're all eating food we weren't designed to eat. For example, I'm a meat eater. My people are from the British Isles. So if I'm a meat eater and my people are from the British Isles, if I try to be a vegan, I will do irreversible damage to my body. And I'm telling you that out of experience. So if I tell you, hey, only eat what your ancestors ate 500 years ago, you take that in and contemplate it. You don't believe it. You say, you know what? That kind of makes sense. My people are from Jamaica. All they ate was fish and vegetables. I'll probably look my best, feel my best, perform the best, stay the youngest, longest if I eat what I'm designed to eat. That's good advice. Ask yourself, why would I do this? Because I'll live long and I'll live healthy. And is this good for me? Yeah, that sounds good. It's good for me. All right, that's how you evolved humans think. That's how evolved humans think. And then before you believe anything or you do anything, you take any action, you ask yourself, why am I doing this? Okay? I'm doing this because I'm 50, 60 pounds overweight. I'm doing this because I can't satisfy my other in bed. I'm doing this because I'm single and I'm 40 something and I don't want to be the side chick for the rest of my life. I want a man, whatever. You understand? See how this works? So once the prospect of gain is there and you know it'll better your life, you apply it. This is a place of action. Unless you apply things, nothing changes unless something changes. Get it? All right, that's how evolved humans think. So I'll end this live by just telling you, look, I'm 53. I've seen it all, done it all. How you protect, you're never going to get rid of. All right, it's too late. You can't vote it in. You can't talk it in. There's no more talking. There's no more voting. There's no more, you can't make any changes. If you elect a congressperson, they can't even introduce a bill to Congress for the first 10 years that they're in office. You can't. And so voting something in doesn't work. People vote because they don't want to change themselves, so they want somebody to do it for them. So we now see that voting is a lie, doesn't even work. We now understand that we are 100% responsible for our own safety, our own well-being. No one's going to do it for you. You got to get up and do it, or you're just going to be on the street. No one cares. We now understand that everything is monetarily driven, which means that when you go to the grocery store, gone is the days of the assumption of safety and security in the United States, meaning that you look at the food and you say, this is safe to eat. Somebody checked it the fuck out. No one checked it the fuck out. You're going to eat it. You're not designed to eat it. You're going to get fat. You're going to get cancer, and your girl's going to leave you, and that's the end. That's your story. That's your story. And vice versa. That's the story. That's your story if you don't listen to the words coming out of my mouth. Right? So here's how you protect yourself. Nothing's changed. Only the strong survive. Yeah. It's not the data centers, guys, that is your problem. This is misdirection. Look, if you hear about a stock on social media, it's too late. If you hear about a stock on social media, it's too late already. No money to be made. The money's already made. They keep telling you and talking to you about these data centers. All right? Data center, data center, data center. They keep talking to you about these data centers. And as I just said that, my viewers have jumped. So the algorithm is designed for us to talk about data centers. Data center, data center, data center. The more I talk about it, the more people start watching, right? The fix is in. The reason why they want you talking about data centers is because you're afraid that you're going to pick up the bill with your electricity. The truth is, you're already picking up the bill. The bill that you're paying $1,000 a month for electricity is the electric car bill. You're supplementing that electricity to drive these cars. That's what you're doing. That's what you're doing. There's already data centers. Dude, you go to Virginia. Virginia has more data centers than any other place in the world, all of them combined. There's more data centers in Virginia right now, and there has been for the last 20 years, than every other place combined in the world in Virginia. Did you know that? Probably not. FYI. So they got you looking at data centers when in fact it's misdirection. It's a military tactic. The truth is you're overpaying for electricity and water and everything else because of the electric cars. Because the government owns those companies. So it's all, they got you looking at communist China saying how bad it is when in fact this is the worst country in the world. The worst. The worst. The government owns everything through mandate and through everything through policy. They do. They do. So here's how you protect yourself. I'm going to cut it. I'm going to give it to you short and sweet. I'm 53. I'm 240. I have an 8-pack of abs. I have 20-inch arms. I have a 54-inch chest and a 29-inch waist. All right? Uh, I have sex 5 times a week. Have to, want to, and perform perfectly, right? At 53. And the reason why is because my hormones and my body, only the strong survive. You are young because your hormones were in check. Period. End of story. I also use body protection compounds because body protection compounds, like the Wolverine compound, is what I use in my life to protect me. So when I eat out and I eat Cisco Foods poison from Cisco Foods, okay? When I eat that, I am protected. Body protection compounds. You got it? That's what I take. So in order for, you're not going to, number one, if it wasn't, you have to go, first thing you have to do is go on an ancestral diet. You have to eat what your ancestors ate if you want to lose 50, 60 pounds without taking any drugs whatsoever. That's, if you want to live to be 65, keep on. 55, 65, keep on doing what you're doing. Be a vegan, be a vegetarian. That's a new concept, by the way. There were no vegans and vegetarians 500 years ago. The ground is so hard in most of the world, you can't even penetrate it with a shovel in the wintertime. You would starve to death. There was no vegans, there was no vegetarians 500 years ago. I'm sorry. That's a lie. Just like the food table. Okay? It's true. Only impoverished people ate lettuce and this shit. There's no value in it at all. There's none. All right? You have to eat what your people ate 500 years ago. All right? That's step number one. Find out what they ate, where you're from. You know, you could be Russian, but you could be from South America. If you're from South America 500 years ago, those people ate a different diet than the Russians, who are Vikings. I'm a Viking. I'm a Rush. I'm Czechoslovak, which is same thing. They conquered all of Eastern Europe, and they all ate the same thing. So I eat what they ate, which is allows me to look like this. All right. Second thing that you have to do, all right, is get one blood test once a year. You're a fool if you don't. You're a goddamn fool if you do not get a blood test once a year. You are going to wind. You could be thinking that you're doing the right thing, like eating like eating black seed oil. No, I take black seed oil every day. I take black seed oil every day. I'm good. If you're allergic to black seed oil and you're taking it, it's going to kill you over time. And I don't mean kill you like kill you. I mean, it's going to give you a disease and it's going to be ugly. And your end is going to be ugly. Probably like your parents. All right? So find out where you're, stop guessing. Find out where your people are from 500 years ago. Second thing is get a blood test. All right? Now, before you ask, it's not free. If you text me, I can point you to where you can get a remote blood test where they send it to your house. You go to the nearest place next to your house. You take the blood test, and the girls call you, and then the nurse practitioners call you, and they say, "Okay, you need whatever. Your estrogen level is real low. This is why you have no energy. This is why you're moody. This is why you gained 40 pounds and you can't take it off. Your estrogen has to be supplemented, and here's how we're going to repair it. We're going to give you HCG. That's the cure, okay? Now, insurance companies do not pay for cures. They only pay for treatments, which is why they'll pay for Ozempic. It's a treatment. It's not a cure. So the moment you stop sticking yourself with that pin, you gain the weight right back. All right? When in fact, the only thing that drug does is cut your insulin level down to nothing. And insulin has one job, and that job is to tell your body it's no longer allowed to eat the fat stored on it. It's only allowed to eat the coffee and sugar that you had this morning for breakfast. It's only allowed to eat the energy in your bloodstream. That's what insulin does. That and delivers proteins to your muscles. All right. So what you take that Ozempic, all you're doing is blocking insulin. The moment you stop taking that, and it's expensive, the moment you stop taking that, you gain the weight right back unless you fix the problem. The problem is you're not on an ancestral diet. Your body's not designed to eat salads. It's not designed to be a vegan. It's not designed to eat pasta. There was no pasta 500 years ago. There was no pizza 500 years ago. There was no raviolis, oodles and noodles. Chinese people don't eat rice. That's all a fucking lie. Chinese people, 25% meat, 75% vegetables. That's what they eat. You go to a Chinese home where a Chinese woman cooked the food, 25% meat, 25% vegetables. There's no rice, maybe a little bit of noodles, rice noodles, maybe. They don't eat that way. They just don't. It's like a side dish. The only one gorging themselves with rice are Americans. Yeah. Somebody did a video on parasites, and now everybody believes everything is parasites. Dude, I've been all over the world, pissed in places I shouldn't piss in while I was underwater. It's very hard to get parasites. Very hard. It's not parasites. It's your diet. It's what you're eating. It's making you sick. Okay? So, step number one, guys, is to figure out what you're eating. If it's not what your ancestors ate 500 years ago, you have to change your diet and you have to eat what they ate. Period. End of story. Non-negotiable. It's like one of them fucking things when you're talking to your grandson or your son and say you're not allowed to go into the street without looking both ways. This cannot happen. You cannot eat what you were not designed to eat. This cannot happen. If you listen to those words coming out of my mouth, you'll lose 50, 60 pounds. Quick. All right? I went on the carnivore diet because it was consistent with what my people ate. I lost 97 pounds in 68 days. You can do the same. You don't need any drugs for that. But if you have fat and you have mood swings and you have no energy that you can't get rid of, the reason why when you were young you could eat anything you wanted and not gain weight, you could drink as much alcohol as you wanted and not gain any weight, is because your hormones were in check. So you're a fool if you don't get a hormone test once a year. Here's my number. I'll even point in the right direction. All right? I'm not selling anything, but it's not free. But you're worth it. My number for YouTube is in the description. It's 813-330-6801. Okay. So step number one, you go on the right diet. Step number two, you text me. The nurse practitioners send you the remote blood test. You take the remote blood test. A week later, they call you back, the nurse practitioners, and say, great news, you don't need anything. Just follow this diet. Or your testosterone level is 300. You're about to have a heart attack, and this is why you have man boobs, and this is why you can't lose any weight. All right, it's because your testosterone level. A man with no testosterone is not a man. A man with a 300 testosterone level is a woman. I'm sorry to tell you, the average man walking around the United States is a woman. That is a fact. A 30-year-old man in the United States, the average testosterone level is 300. That is a woman. Men are supposed to have 1,000 minimum testosterone level. If you don't have 800, 1,000 testosterone level, you're going to have a heart attack at 55. You're going to die before you're 65. These are just the facts. This is the terrain we currently find ourselves on. So get a blood test and make sure your testosterone level is where it needs to be. Now, do not go through a doctor who accepts insurance. They are not hormone experts. So if you go to your doctor and you come up with a 300 testosterone level, He knows it causes obesity. He knows it causes heart attack, but he's trained by Big Pharma to put you on blood pressure medication instead of fixing the problem, which is your testosterone level. That's just a fact. And they're going to tell you, no, your testosterone's fine. 300, that's great. You have to go to a hormone specialist. You wouldn't go to a foot doctor if you had a problem with your eye, would you? No. Hormone specialist. That's what this blood test does. It gives you it's a it's a hormone test that hormones always win. If your hormones are off, ladies, listen. If your hormones are off, you get old quick, right? You get heavy. A woman cannot take the weight off if her hormones are off. Cannot. Not possible. Not possible. The reason why you looked good when you were young is because your hormones were balanced. If you want to look good again, instead of going out and spending 1,000 on your hair and spending 175 on your nails and your makeup, go get your hormones straightened out. You won't need that shit. You got it? It's the saddest thing ever. I talked about it last night on my live. I see 30-year-old girls here in Tampa. I see them. They go out, they get extensions, $1,000 they spend on their hair. They get their nails done, their lashes are done. They look, you know, but they're 5'2" and they're 300 pounds. I'm not, I'm not criticizing them. I'm just saying, why wouldn't you take $400 and get your hormones straightened out and lose 70 pounds? So it cracks me up when someone calls me and says, hey man, I've had chronic pain for 20 years in my back and my shoulder, and I can't get, my wand doesn't work, so my girl's not happy and my knee hurts. And I say to them, okay, well, it's going to cost you between 400 and 700 hours a month to fix this, and then it's not. It's going to be a lot cheaper. And they say, oh, well, we don't have that kind of money. And I fucking say, well, I guess you're not really in pain for 20 years. I guess you really don't like your girl because she's going to find somebody else. Don't kid yourself. Same thing with the ladies. You text me, and I tell you something's between 400 and 700 hours, and you say I don't have that type of money, and then go out and spend $1,000 on your hair, nails, lashes. Dude, you're just kidding yourself. You're kidding yourself. A woman is not a woman unless her estrogen level is where it needs to be. Hormones make you who you are. A man is not a man unless he has 1,000-point testosterone level. He's not. He's a woman. You got it? This is what I'm trying to tell you. Yeah, it's priorities. This is the only thing you own is your body. The only thing that's going to save you as you walk this journey of life is a strong, healthy body. The only way you can have a strong, healthy body is by eating what you were designed to eat. This is why the ancestral diet is the only diet for human beings. So, for example, if eating kosher was the answer, then those people that eat kosher would live twice as long as the people that don't. But they don't. If eating vegan or vegetarian was the answer, then those people would live twice as long, but statistics show they die of heart attacks every day, just like meat eaters. So that's not right. So what is right is the diet that you were designed to eat, which is the ancestral diet. If you're from a place that only ate fish, that's all you're designed to eat. Under no circumstances are you allowed to eat spaghetti. Under no circumstances. There isn't a scenario available for you to eat to eat land animals if you're from a coastal island where there was no land animals 500 years ago. There is no scenario available. There's nothing that makes sense there. There's no gain. There's only lunacy and delusion at that point. So, ancestral diet and get your hormones checked. It's a blood test once a year, right? Take that blood test once a year. They'll show you where your hormones are. Once they show you where your hormones are, guys, listen. If you look, a woman who has a baby at 25 years old, if her hormones are off after she has that baby, she immediately is open to getting cancer. That is a fact. You can look that up. Just telling you. You have to, if you want to eat whatever you want to eat, and you still want to live a long life, you have to have your hormones in check. You understand? So once a week, if you want to go out and eat things that you're not supposed to eat in moderation, once a week, you cannot do that any longer unless your hormones are in check, unless you're taking body protection compounds. Wolverine protocol. It's not hard to figure out. So that's it, guys. That's what I wanted to tell you. So is anybody interested in anything else that's on my page? Anything at all? Any questions before I go? It's been what time is it? I don't even know what time it is. Doesn't tell me. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. Yeah. Any other questions? Any questions? But who's making the hormones? Okay, so that's a good question. Who's making the hormones? Okay, so listen. I believe fucking nothing. If someone says something to me, I'm like, uh-huh. And I don't believe them. So when I first hooked up with these nurse practitioners, they said to me, all right, your testosterone level is 400. It was like 377. So they're like, you have to raise your testosterone level or you're gonna, my father died of a heart attack. So I don't want to be my father. So I have to correct this. You're gonna die of what your parents died from if you live the same lifestyle and eat the same shit. All right? That's just a fact. That's what's gonna happen to you. All right? So I said, how do I fix this? They said, you're gonna take HCG. HCG is a natural compound taken from the placenta of a woman when she has a baby, right? No, you didn't miss me talking about peptides. I will talk about them though. HCG is from a placenta of a baby. So when a woman has a baby, she's in the hospital, some pasty, nasty, lying fucking hospital employee comes in and says, hey, we want to take this placenta because we want to do research on it. Biggest fucking lie on planet Earth. What they're going to do is they're going to take that placenta, they're going to sell it to a compound factory, compound pharmacy, and they're going to make fertility drugs called HCG. Right? That's what they're going to make. And they're going to make this drug, and this drug stimulates the pituitary gland in both men and women, right? So when your pituitary gland is stimulated, you create testosterone naturally. It's the cure for having low T. So of course they made it, first off they made it, you have to have a prescription, then they made it illegal because it cures low T. Then the doctors in the fertility clinics lost so much money because if you're going to have a baby or try to have a baby, you would go to a fertility clinic, you would, take care of yourself in a little jar, and they would say, hey, your sperm count is low. And then they would say, here, give me a little bit of fat and a little bit of fat in your stomach. And they would shoot you with an insulin needle with 0.40 of HCG. You would go home, you'd have sex with your wife, and out comes a baby. Because it makes you create sperm. It makes your wand deliver data. I don't know how else to put that in a tactful way. Your wand will then work and deliver the data it needs to deliver. Okay? Um, so in a woman and in a man, HCG, yeah, it raises low T. It cures low T. So you don't have to take TRT, testosterone replacement therapy. It cures it. And so they made it legal again because the fertility clinics were going out of business because that is the cure for not being fertile for men and women. It's called HCG. It's a natural thing from that they get from the placenta of a newborn baby, along with a lot of other drugs. They do. The hospital just steals from you and just says for medical reasons we're going to go ahead and take this, and we're all good trusting human beings like we trust. They check the food out at Publix before we fucking eat it and buy it for our children, and they lied, of course, and no one checked the food out. Just all cap. Everything's a lie. Everything's a fucking lie. Sorry, it is. It all is. Everything we were taught. So you have to get a blood test once a year, and if you're a woman and you're heavy, HCG will take the weight off of you. If you're a man and you're heavy, HCG will take the weight off of you. I take it. I'll never stop taking it. I take it because I like my testosterone level around 1800. That's what my testosterone level is. It's 1800, and my free testosterone is 400. All right? But I supplement my testosterone with, I microdose testosterone and estrogen blockers, which allows me to be 53 years old, 6'2", 240 pounds with an 8-pack. And I do that strictly because this is the business that I'm in, which is security. And frankly, my girl walks 6 feet behind me because she likes to look at other women look at me, and that's just something she does. She likes to see people watch me because I look in person. If you were ever to see me, I look different than most people. I'm just built different. Not like bodybuilder big, more like a swimmer with 20-inch arms big. Just I'm just weird looking to see, and I'm like very unique looking. So my wife walks 6 foot, or my girlfriend walks 6 feet behind me to just watch. So I like to look good for her. She deserves it. And you know what? If your woman loves you, or if your man loves you, he wants you to look good and be healthy too. That's all there is to it, man. Um, what's this say? Olive leaf extract increases sexual strength and heals prostate cancer. Yeah, once upon a time, but you can't listen, guys. You can't see something on social media and all of a sudden now everything is parasites. Some dude, this Dr. Oz should be in jail. These people should all be in prison. They're coming on here. They're telling you that this is parasites, and it's all for content creation. Don't you realize that yet? This is something they've been doing in the news for years. They'll say anything for you to watch because when you watch them, they're keeping you on the platform, and the platform pays them for how long they keep you because they start showing you ads. All right, so they'll say anything. Like, for example, you see all those fake photos of RFK and now Trump banning fake meat. Do you support Trump for banning and you know RFK for banning fake meat? And everybody who's in the Matrix who believes in this system, yes, I support RFK. He's been a politician 50 years. He doesn't give a fuck. His family don't care. They're all actors. He hasn't done shit in 50 years. He's not going to do shit now. Everything you're watching is just a version. Okay? Everything. Every doctor that takes insurance is a liar and a thief, and so are they. That's end of story. So, a doctor that takes insurance, a doctor Most doctors have a $50,000 nut per month, just so you know. They have a wife, they have a girlfriend on the side, they have fucking children from their ex-wife, children currently, they have a boyfriend, all right? They have a $20,000 a month mortgage. They have $30,000 in miscellaneous bills by the time they get done fucking around. All right? They live horrible lifestyles because they have God complex. And when you walk in there, instead of telling you you need peptides for your shoulder to heal your torn rotator cuff, you need peptides, it's going to cost you $250 to heal your torn rotator cuff. They say, you need a fucking shoulder replacement because the doctor can't make his $50,000 a month nut. That doctor that you love, that you trust so much, that your insurance carrier covers, is a fucking lying, cheating, stealing thief. Number one cause of death in America, doctors. It's you. You're responsible for your health. So what you have to do is go to a nurse practitioner who does not take insurance. Therefore, they don't have designs on you. This is how bad it's gotten. I'm telling you the truth. You know I am. So HCG is how you heal low testosterone. Microdosing hormones, if you're a woman, you want to lose weight and you want to look good, microdosing hormones is the way to go. You can't do that if you're guessing about your diet. Like I have two sisters. They were either on they were on the egg diet with the sliced tomatoes. They did the South Beach diet. They did this diet. They did that diet. Everybody's guessing about their diet. And that's the problem. You got to eat what you're designed to eat. And the only way to do that is to eat what your ancestors ate 500 years ago. It's not hard to figure out. It's very easy and free to do that. If it wasn't around 500 years ago, you don't eat it. Got it? Then you have to take the blood test. Text me. I will give you the the information to get the remote blood test. You take it in your city, right? Nurse practitioner calls you up and says, "Here, this is what you need. This is how much it's going to cost," because they don't take insurance. Insurance won't pay for it because it's a cure. You're gonna need this, and boom, you lose 50, 60, 70 pounds. You're healthy. You're back on the market. You get a nice boyfriend. You get a nice girlfriend. Your wife loves you again. Your husband loves you again. Your wife's going to be happy you're not going to die of a heart attack. Your husband's going to be happy that you're not going to lose your hair and be fat and nasty and shows you off. That's what you deserve. That's what you deserve. This conversation to me is insanity that I got to have this conversation with people. Your body is number one. Is number one. What you eat. Look, we have limited freedom of will. Very, very limited freedom of will. It consists of what you eat, what you wear, and what you believe. Everything else is divine providence. Divine providence is God's will. All right? But those things, what you eat, what you believe, those two things are so important. They're so important because if you're eating food that your body can't digest, that's why you see 30, 25, 30-year-old girls with cellulite. That's why you see these women that are walking around that are hideous. These men are walking around with man boobs and a big stomach. I'm not making fun of them. I'm horrified for them because I used to be one of them and I was lied to. So now I make it my mission to pass this information forward to you. I really do, man. This is serious. And the thing is and this is really the reason why I do it. The deeper I dive into the scams and the douchebaggery with the fake foods, with the everybody's lying to you. They're telling you it's filtered bottled water when in fact it's faucet water. They're telling you, it's filled with heavy metals, filled with all this shit. They're telling you it's grass fed and it's not. They're telling you it's real and it's not. It's bioengineered. You can't get away from that if you want to live in society. That's the new normal. Okay? It's not a conspiracy theory. It is the new normal. Now, what you have to do is say to yourself with logic, how am I going to protect myself from this bullshit since I can't even go out to eat without eating something that's fake? How you're going to protect yourself is body protection compounds called peptides. How you're going to protect yourself is by only eating what your ancestors ate when you go out to eat. How you're going to protect yourself is by making sure your hormones are like they were when you were 20. You don't want to do that? Fuck you. It's your body. Go die. Go get treated. Go get some Oxycontins. Go. Rock on. I don't care. You're the only one that's going to pay the price if you don't believe me. I swear. I'm sorry, bro. You know what I'm saying? If you're 25 years old and you think it's more important to get your hair done for $1,000, and you had to have the human hair, your lashes done, and your nails done, and your toenails done, and all that you're all in for 2,500 or whatever with the outfit, and and the Kanye tickets, you're all in for 2,500, but you're 70, 100 pounds overweight. You're kidding yourself. You're going to be the side chick. You're never going to find a man. I'm sorry, man. I'm the scam king. I'm telling you how it is. It's the truth. I'm 53. I'm allowed to talk this way to you. I'm not a kid. I'm coming to you from experience. I'm just telling you. If you look like shit, listen, it's only a matter of time before somebody comes and swoops your man away. Or a woman. I'm just telling you, man. And you might never know about somebody ghosts you. You know? Just telling you, this is a fact. Scary fact. But it's true, man. Somebody fucking ghosts you. You're never going to know it. And, for example, and I talk about this shit all the time, right? So I did this funny satire video about guys wearing other guys' jerseys. How a man assumes the identity of his favorite football player because his life didn't work out. You watch them. You got the Super Bowl parties. You got all of the guys who are literally women because they have no testosterone. They're women. They're all of them are the same. They have the beer in their hand. They got the beer gut, the man boobs, no ass, and they're all just wearing the jersey like they're going to get called in on the next play. Listen, this is all fun and games, but you don't think that your girl wishes you looked like how you looked when you got together? If you don't think that's true, you're sadly mistaken, my friend. And if she's not a cheater, she's sad. She's very, very sad that you look the way you look, because at the end of the day, she wants you healthy and she wants you to be safe if she loves you. Okay? The flip side of that is people get tired of your shit and tired of the way you look, and she's going to be looking. Trust me, man. It happens every day. So the choice is yours, ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to take care of yourself to protect yourself in 2026 or not. I can't make the choice for you, but I can help you. I can point you in the right direction. So here's my number. Last time. You text me. I'll send you the information on the diet. No problem. I'll show you where I buy my meat. Florida Farmer. And I will, in addition, give you the information on, what is Rita? Retta. I don't know what that is. I have no idea. I'll give you the information on, I'll also give you the information on the hormones and the peptides. So because somebody asked me to talk about peptides. There's a lot of, listen, anything you buy over the internet is fake. I'm letting you know right now. Testosterone, estrogen blockers, peptides, all of it fake. Everything fake. I don't believe anything anybody says. So when I went to get these peptides and this hormones, I physically drove to the compound factory and made sure it wasn't being made in some Mexican bathtub somewhere. It's made right here in Tampa. So I wanted to make sure. So I personally drove to these places. Okay. So what you got to do is you have to make sure that these pharmacies, these peptides, all right, the peptides are simply branched chain amino acids. That's all they are. A branched chain amino acid is the building block that your body used when you were a child and that brought you into adulthood. It grew you into who you are. Then what it does is it stops being made in the body, which we call adults. Adults don't have peptides the way they had when they were growing up. Peptides are like super fuel, right? They found out, sports doctors, because remember, everything is money driven, not cancer doctors, not child cancer doctors. No one gives a fuck. The sports doctors, because there's money involved, found out that if you introduce branched chain amino acids called peptides into their players and they have an injury, your body heals it on its own, no surgery. So they immediately made that shit illegal because now doctors can't replace shoulders, they can't replace hips, they can't, they can't. I mean, you're gonna take a peptide, it's gonna take away chronic pain. They can't have that. Can't have that. Got to have surgery. Got to have surgery, right? So a peptide is simply reintroduced into an adult, and when it is, it gives your body the ability to regenerate tissue. That's what a peptide does. But they have all sorts of peptides. They have peptides for chronic pain, chronic illness, immune system, teeth, hair, nails. They have them for sports, for performance. They have all different kinds. And I'm not qualified to tell you which ones to take. I can only tell you what I take. I take the Wolverine compound, which is it's BP 157, which is body protection, BPC 157, body protection compound 157. And I take TB 500 for inflammation. That's all I take. That's it. The reason why they call it a body protection compound, because it does just that. It protects you. It protects your body. So when I go out to eat and I'm forced to eat in a place like, Outback Steakhouse, and I know it's full of fucking chemicals and trash, but there's nothing else to eat because I live in society and I'm a realist, well, I'm protected. You're not. So if I eat that once a month, it's not going to kill me as opposed to you eating it once a month. Because you eating, things like IGF-1, insulin growth factor 1, once a month. Listen, you eat one piece of fake toast, which is called modified wheat gluten. Read the back of the package. One piece of fake toast with some jelly, or one half a bagel with some jelly. You eat that Monday morning, it spikes your insulin level for 2 weeks. So you could work out all week, walk all week. You could do anything you want all week. You won't lose 1 fucking pound. Your body's shut down. That's the new reality of things. The food is so toxic. So you have to protect yourself with body protection compounds is what I'm saying to you. Okay? That's it. That's all I wanted to tell you, man. So YouTube, 813-330-6801, 813-330-6801. It's also in the description, my phone number. Instagram, I love you. Thank you for your support. I'm right at 500,000 followers. My old accounts got suspended because I put some stuff on that you weren't supposed to know. So my YouTube account that had, I don't know, a million followers, my Instagram account, that's gone, and my Facebook account is limited, but I have a 250,000 followers on there. That's my personal Facebook account, not a page. So I'm rebuilding. So thank you for your support. If you're following me on Instagram, please follow me on. I'm trying to rebuild my go to at Scott Lubik, okay? At Scott Lubik on YouTube, and follow me there because my longer content is going to be on there. Like how I figure these scams out and that kind of shit. The behind the scenes stuff is going to be on there. You can't get that on the other platforms. Are just not designed for that type of content. So if you'd be so kind to follow me over there, that would be great. But anyway, anybody else have any questions before I roll out? Anything? Anything at all? You want to ask me about the economy? Do you want to ask me about? I'll answer any question. Do I like guys? No. Other than that, any question, anything. This dog doesn't hunt that way. This dog only hunts for females. This male dog only hunts for female dogs. I get it's so sad, bro. I get hit on. It's okay. I have nothing against the gay community, whatever. But dude, I get hit on by more men than I do women, and after a while, it's like my girl just says, "Are you fucking kidding me? Get the fuck away from him!" Like when we go out, because where I live is got a real big gay community. Yeah, I like attention. I just don't like that kind, but that's fine. They're their intention's good. Whatever. They've been drinking. Just don't touch me. uh but anyway, anybody have any questions at all? Anything about my videos? Anything that you want to know about? Anything about my past? Anything about my future? Anything at all? Now, I got a question for you. Does this look like me? That doesn't look like me, does it? Good, you can screenshot that. That doesn't look like me, does it? Does that look like me? Does that look like me? I don't think it does. That's me. That's what I used to look like. Uh, anyway, anybody? Any questions at all? I know there was a lot of comments over here on Facebook. It's not just hormones; it's the poison in everything. It's also the air you breathe. Yeah, you get listen. You you're correct. Double change sex, especially man. Yeah, listen. Poisons in the water, poisons in the food. You can't do shit about it. These content creators are on here pumping up RFK like he's going to come and save you, like he's going to personally cook for you, right? He hasn't done shit in 50 years. They don't care. They're the ones that caused the problem and legalized the fake foods, and you think they're going to fix it? It's the oldest fucking scam in the book. Create a problem and then come out like Robin Hood and fix the fucking problem. And you love them for it. It's beyond. When I think about it, it makes me angry just because they think that I'm that stupid. It's insulting. It's degrading. The things that come out of their mouths is disgusting, degrading, insulting, and we don't need them. I got news for you. There's going to come a time where we don't have them, and it's going to be all their fault. They're not, and I feel bad because these people don't even run the country. They're just selected people, families, to stay in fake power. They don't have to work. They enjoy insider trading, the yacht clubs, all this shit. They're not even their jobs are not even real. They don't vote things in Congress. Congress doesn't set the laws. Are you serious right now? They don't do any of that, bro. That is all a fucking cap. That is all a lie. All of it. That is not how the Republic works. There is no deficit where we're losing money. They're not mismanaging your tax money. They're just stealing money from you. This is all a lie. Everything. That's why I created my page. It's a lie. It's why I carry 3 guns, because I get death threats from some of these videos. You know what I mean? It's like I it's all a lie. I could see right through it. It's such a scam, and we're all programmed to believe that the world is round. We went to the moon. Elon Musk is going to Mars. It's just like all it's all a lie. I swear to you, man. I have nothing to gain by telling you that. It's all if you can't see it. If you can't see it, it's okay. But you have to protect yourself against things that you cannot see. You have to everybody has to admit something's not kosher here. So, anyway, that's why I offer my page and my help. Anybody got any questions? Because I'm going to go. Anybody at all? What time is it? It's like 12. Yeah, it's 12:30. Anybody got any questions? No? All right. Well, listen, I'm the Scam King. I go live every Saturday at 10 a.m. I bring it to you. I bring you the truth as I know it. If you see lies on my page, me fucking around, and it's satire, like for example, me spraying CRC spray on a toilet seat because you're constipated and my doctor told me to do this because I have no insurance, that's a fucking joke. Don't unfollow me because you got really good information like meters not being close to your kid's headboard, and all of a sudden you think I'm this serious guy. I have to mix satire in with the serious shit or my account will get suspended again. You get it? So, my personality, I'm an asshole. I'm a scumbag from Atlantic City, New Jersey. I'm an asshole. This is just who I am. I'm not faking it. This is really me. Cheating, lying, stealing, sinning, dirtbag from Atlantic City. So if you see some of that on my page, cursing, I love to curse. I enjoy cursing. I went to seminary school for 5 years. If you see all this shit on my page, it's just me. But I'm telling you the truth as I know it. My heart is in it. All right? Got it? Are we clear? That's who you're following. All right, I'll leave it right there. Anybody have any questions before I go? At all? Come on, Instagram. There's a 1 minute delay. I'll give you 1 minute. I see the hearts. You probably hit that button a minute ago. Huh? Anybody? No? Anybody have any questions? Anybody at all? All right. Bye, YouTube. Well, I'll do Facebook. Bye, Facebook. I love you. I'll see you. Thanks for following. Okay. So,